Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles, the elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, to the men on the highways and the byways that are pushing out this word in truth and sincerity, and to the remnant men, women, and children of the elect. To you all, I say shalom. My name is Ahyash, and I'm back with another lesson through the power and the spirit of Yahweh by Shai, Lord willing. This lesson is edifying, and I just wanted to do a quick lesson on what's been going on recently with the invasion of Spain from these, I guess you can want to call them Moroccan immigrants. Okay. And when you watch some of the videos and you watch kind of what took place, for me personally, it just kind of like it put me in a certain spirit, like it brought me to a place, right? I thought of, all hell breaking loose. Obviously, those of us who are in this truth and fear the Lord and understand prophecy, we know that there's events that's going to take place where it's all out chaos. And when you see the videos of these, I guess these Moroccan immigrants who was trying to make their way over to Spain, it looks like all hell's breaking loose. It looks like there's a flood of people that are trying to seek refuge and get out of a bad situation and whatever the case. So and again, that's what it reminds me of. So those of us who understand prophecy understand that things will get real crazy out here, whether it's America, Babylon the Great, whether it's in Europe, whether in these other places around the world. The collapse of the society, America, the collapse of the beast system, the collapse of this man's empire is imminent, right? It's right in front of our eyes. You know what I mean? So, just like the lesson I did yesterday, at the end of the day, when it comes down to prophecy, it's really just a matter of watching, like holding on to, what we know is bound to happen. But at the end of the day, it's about enduring and allowing the Lord's, because everything is done in the Lord's time, right? You can't rush the prophecies. You can't, all we can do is what we were commanded to do, which is come out here and really prophesy against this kingdom, preach the message of repentance to the elect, and may the will of the Lord be done. That's all you can really do. You know what I mean? Yesterday I did a lesson on it was like a World War III kind of update, because Iran had attacked some military bases, I believe in some U.S. military bases, and I think, was it Jordan? I can't remember exactly where it was, but regardless, don't hold me to that. Regardless, it's a play on, war. It's war talk. It's prophecy, similar to what we see here. All hell is gonna break loose. Things are gonna get chaotic. People are gonna be scratching and clawing and fighting for their survival, and that's what we picture. That's what we see as the prophecy. How about Shai? That's what we see. We see all hell breaking loose. We see a bunch of just chaos and madness and mass death and all of that. So I'm just gonna play this quick little video, and I got some precepts to go into again what this whole thing reminds me of.
Where is Ceuta, and why have so many people suddenly tried to swim there? These images are of thousands of migrants suddenly rushing towards Morocco's border with Ceuta, a tiny sliver of land that belongs to Spain. They swam across in such huge numbers that the border effectively collapsed. There was chaos. The swim isn't long, but some people clearly struggled, and several dozen have drowned. Those who did make it to shore, though, were euphoric. So why Ceuta? Well, it's a spot where Europe and Africa meet directly, a stepping stone, something on the way to a better life. It's just a few square miles in size, and with around 80,000 inhabitants, so 50,000 more arriving in just one day was quite something. Spain has now sent troops and police to help keep the peace and to reinforce the border. But it's still not clear why so many migrants suddenly rushed to Ceuta. A Spanish court did rule recently that anyone who swims across cross the border can't be automatically returned, so perhaps word spread. But there are also questions about what Morocco did or didn't do to stop people crossing. Right now, it's not happy with Spain because of Spain's relations with Algeria, not a friend of Morocco. Spain's government is playing that down because it needs help from Morocco now to be able to send people back there. Many have already gone, but many thousands more are still in Ceuta and unsure of what happens next.
All right, so just wanted to play that to kind of show some images of, you know, them swimming across and making it to the, you know, Spain's border in a town called Ceuta, however you say it. And again, you know, you see people fighting and swimming, you know, from one place to another to seek refuge, to seek some peace, to seek some safety, and who knows what's going on over there, you know, in Morocco, where people feel people feel the need to actually do that. Okay, and that's what's going to take place, you know, here in America, here in Babylon the Great. You know, this reminds me of a time that's coming, known as Jacob's trouble. All right. But before that, I want to get the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, a love of many shall wax cold. This is the first precept I thought of when I saw, you know, the chaos, when I saw, you know, people swimming and trying to make their way across that border. Because, as you know, when people are in survival mode, they'll basically do anything. All right. And the love of many is going to wax cold. That wax cold represents a psychosis that's going to take place over people, and they're not going to remember friends, family, people they know. That's not going to be a concept that's going to be it's going to matter in terms of how people are going to handle one another. Okay, when you ain't got no food, no water, when you don't have the ability to maintain what you've always kind of known your whole entire life, people are going to freak out and lose it, man. People are going to lose it in these last days, you know, when there's food shortages, when, you know, you may be forced out of your home and, you know, maybe have, you know, live on the street or whatever the case may be, man. You know, when the economy collapses, there's no jobs, there's no work, and society isn't functioning on a level where it is now, where there's a certain level of, you know, order or government influence or whatever the case, man, it's going to be chaotic. Okay, and people are not, especially here in America, they're not prepared for a chaotic life. They're not prepared for a chaotic society where there's no order, there's no there's no boundary to things. You know, so the love of many shall wax cold. The people are going to be out here just tripping. All right. And that's what we're expecting. That's what we're hoping for, man. We're hoping for a level of chaos to where society can't return back to its proper, to its former form, so to speak. All right. We want things to get to the point where there's no turning back, to where it's just judgment and destruction and MOTB, World War III, and Yahawashi. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to see, man. 1 Thessalonians 5:3 says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay, so things are going to get disastrous out here. All right, because right now people are, you know, there's a peace and safety energy to people because, you know, like I always say, their routine hasn't been interrupted. Okay, people have the ability to get up, go to work, make their money, feed their families, go to a grocery store, cook, clean, you know, live their life. It's a shitty life, but still people are used to it, and people have an expectation for, you know, being able to you know, just that basic living, which is, you know, being able to eat, being able to shower, being able to get up and go to work and go outside. No, martial law is going to hit. Okay. Chaos is going to ensue. So much uncertainty for when people's next meal is coming, or being able to seek shelter and safety from some sort of, you know, we're expecting storm troops. We're expecting high level of concentration camps, all these different things taking place. That's what we're expecting. All right, and people are going to be out here losing it, man. But that's what we want. We want the will of the Lord to be done, man. We want this place to be done. We're done. We're done with America, man. We're done with this type of living. All right, such a struggle, man. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7, it says, all right, it says, for at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So Jacob's trouble represents a time like never before. All right, so that none is like it. So that none is like it. There's no time ever seen in the history of this world, of this existence, to where, you know, Jacob's trouble is going to surpass the terror, and the destruction is going to surpass anything this world has ever seen. Okay, so when we pull up videos like this and show a level of chaos and stuff like that, this is child's play compared to what the Lord has compared to what the Lord has prepared for Jacob's trouble. You know, and this is why it's that much more imperative to take heed, hearken unto these lessons, hearken unto the message, stay locked into the Spirit, stay locked into what the Spirit is showing you. All right, release yourself from this world. Gotta release you. You gotta rise ye and depart. Okay, for this is not your rest, man. This is not our rest. We don't want to stay here, and we don't want, as bad as things can be at times here in America, we don't want this place to recover. We don't want things to get better. Okay, we want things to get worse so that things can ultimately get better, because that's the will of Yahawashi. That's the will of the Heavenly Father. It's not our will. We're not making up any sort of scenarios to where, you know, America gets to, you know, we're not making none of this stuff. You don't get to, you know, continue on with your evil, wicked, divisive, destructive kingdom. You don't. It's over. All right, and we're looking forward to that. We're praying and hoping and begging for that. All right, that's what this video, that's what these migrants and all that's what it reminds me of, man. This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and I'm gonna start at verse 14. I'll read a little bit. It's gonna be a short lesson. I just wanted to read that and go into it, just stay in the Spirit, because, you know, that video and those migrants coming over, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of all hell breaking loose. Okay, to where even the military or whatever, it's like at some point it's gonna get to a point where it's the chaos is unmanageable. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. All right, so, you know, sedition among men, invading one another. Forget your average little protest that you see with picket signs and people with bullhorns. Nah, man, sedition, all out, just no regard for, as it says, for authority. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, right? Invading one another. Why? Because it's going to be, you know, it's going to be, you know, people aren't going to be able to look and see friends, family, you know, anything that anything that would currently right now stop you from doing some shit because you see a person's a family member or a friend or whatever, that's going to be thrown out the window. Okay, it says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, any authority figures, police, firefighters, mayors, presidents, governor, all that shit is going to be over when this takes place. Okay, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Martial law, concentration camps, cities that are locked down. All right, that freedom to just roam about is going to be a thing of the past. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. There's going to be a lot of terror and afraid, but the scriptures say the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of a sound mind. Okay, because hearkening unto this word, and Lord willing, Yahsharalah, being a part of the elect, it's going to have our mind sound. We're not going to be afraid. We're expecting these things to happen. We're not going to get blindsided when it happens. We'll be scared and we'll be nervous about, because we're still in this flesh. But our faith and our trust is in Yahawashi, opposed to those who don't have that. All right, who don't have the Lord with them. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall be destroyed. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread for great tribulation. So what you think is going to happen when you ain't got no food to eat? When you on your second, third day without no food to eat, and there's no plan in sight for you to actually eat. It's going to take its toll, and you're going to go on a rampage, man. These people are going to be completely unrecognizable. All right, great tribulation is about to take place. All right, and if you don't have the covering of Yahawashi, you don't have nothing, man. You're gonna be destroyed out here. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there. With that, I hope you were edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles, the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. As always, till next time, Shalom.